And welcome. Hello.
Oh, how's everybody today?
I'm going to drop stuff on my keyboard.
Yeah, because we like the clickety clack.
We do like the clickety clack. That's why we bought the clickety clackety keyboard.
I know, I have some really nice ones that I've recently purchased. Well, welcome to
Welcome to the
RC
Keyboard
Launch.
Podcast.
Yeah, RC Launcher Pilots podcast. I am Steven.
And I'm Derek.
That is Derek. Yeah.
Roll it.
It's like we've never done this before, right? I mean,
we haven't.
I feel like it's new every time, and every time it's wrong.
Well, if anyone has ever listened to our other podcasts that we've been a part of, then they'd know that this is par for the course.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah.
So,
what else can you expect?
and I'm not expecting anything. So hopefully nobody else is expecting anything, but that you are enjoying what you're seeing or listening to, because it is a podcast also along with the YouTube stuff. So, well, what do we got going on today?
That is.
Do you want me to start?
Yeah, let's have you start.
My list is tiny because
my list isn't super long this time either.
Yeah, so I went down to Moab a couple weekends ago.
All right.
And I didn't take my RC car, the Haas, because I haven't fixed it yet. But I did take my drone, my DJI, and I didn't actually get it out because we were busy doing a bunch of other things. And I was surprised on how many places I could fly. Because I did look, I actually did break it out. I opened it up. I opened up my app to find out where I could fly. Being that there's a lot of federal national parks down there, I was under the impression that I was pretty much not going to be able to fly at all.
Yeah.
And actually, that's not the case. There's a lot of open areas that are not federal that you can fly. In fact, everywhere except in Arches National Park, I could actually take my drone out and fly. However, I didn't. So I'm a slacker when it comes to that. But I was pretty busy.
There's opportunity for good footage out there too, like awesome
there's
spots.
So much. We had a side-by-side that I could have followed for a while, and we could have gotten some fun footage and all of that stuff, and just was busy doing other things that I didn't do it. I know, shake your head.
Steven.
Everybody needs to just shame me for that.
Especially like the side-by-side footage would have been awesome.
Yeah, I've got GoPro footage, but following it would have been pretty cool. I could have set that up and had it follow us, and that would have been really awesome. Or I could have just had one of the other passengers, because it was a 4-seater.
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody, somebody could have flown the drone while I was driving, and we could have had lots of fun, because the drone could keep up with the side-by-side easy.
Who had the side-by-side?
We rented it while we were down there.
Ah.
If anybody's ever down in Moab Tours, great place to rent and they give you maps, and yeah, it's awesome. So check them out if you're ever down in Moab.
Nice.
And remember to break out your RC stuff and have fun with it while you're down there. Not just, don't get me wrong, driving the side-by-side and doing some of the four-wheeling and stuff and the rock crawling and stuff, super fun. We had an awesome time doing that, but I did miss my opportunity to get some pretty cool footage from the air, because I did have my drone down, and when we went and got the side-by-side, I didn't even think about taking it. So, my bad. So, that is, all of my opportunity. I didn't get any flying, and I still haven't repaired my Traxxas Haas yet. And this is going to be on you. You and I still haven't, I'm blaming you.
Yeah.
We still haven't met up, and I'm blaming you because I need to blame somebody for one of my failures. Besides myself, is we haven't met up and worked on my tiny trainer.
Yeah, we need to finish that up.
we need to do that sometime soon. So, because after we have the snow and it's cold, I can still fly that in the cold. It still, I just can't fly it in the rain.
No, no, very few things should ever be flown in the rain.
Yeah, I don't even take my drone out. I don't do no flying. However, I need to fix the Haas because that can go out in the rain.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's awesome out when it's wet or snowy. That thing is so much fun. So, nice. But that was it. I mean, I know I'm a slacker face, and you guys can harass me, and that's fine. I get it. I'll take it. It's great. But that's kind of been that's it. I just that's what I've done. Not much, but you know.
All right.
So how about you? What do you got?
Oh,
You've got lots more than me, right?
Well, by lots I mean not a ton more, but more, yeah.
Something. Something.
So for starters, I put this up on my YouTube and on my Instagram and stuff. But I took out one of the planes that I got in that lot. It's a 2-ish meter, roughly 2 meter wingspan glider, just rudder and elevator controls with a polyhedral wing. You're flashing.
Yes, I'm looking at a website, so continue.
That's not ominous sounding. So I got that out, and I think I mentioned that I strapped a motor to it, the Flight Test APAC motor, and went flying with my brother a while back. Pretty sure I mentioned that in the last episode. Yeah,
that sounds familiar.
But what I also did is this last week, not last week, but 2 weeks ago, I took it out to work, because out where I work, it's out near Kennecott property. So there's tons and tons of empty space around where we work. And like the company I work for owns the 15 or so acres right behind the building. So that's awesome. Like that won't get developed until we develop it or sell it. And we have plans to develop it in years down the road. So I went out and I flew there for 2 days straight. No, I flew 3 days. I had 3 separate fly days. On my lunch, I went and I flew for about half an hour each day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was really cool. There was plenty of wind, so like I'd motor up and I'd get up a little ways and then I'd coast around. And on one flight, out of a 650 milliamp battery, I think my regular was about 10 minutes. My maximum was about 15. And on that 15-minute flight, I found a thermal, and it carried me up to 400 feet real fast. It was fun.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. I did have the motor on. I was cheating a little bit. I did have the motor on at like a quarter throttle just to keep pulling me through the air. Because I'm still not good at gliding on thermals when they're rising out of a field and not off a cliff. So I did that. Took my boss out because he expressed interest in seeing me fly whenever I brought a plane in. So I took him out and showed him the ropes and everything. And he says that he wants to get into flying one day, and I told him I will happily drag him down the rabbit hole.
Oh, it's such a deep rabbit hole, too.
Oh, yeah. So did that, and then on my last flight, for some reason the motor wasn't responding, and I'm not sure. So it's got a 12 amp ESC, and part of me wonders if I'm overloading that ESC, because there would be moments where I'd go to power up and the throttle, like the motor would be very slow to respond.
You might be. I mean, what's the motor amperage? Because that might be, if the motor amperage is like a 15 or 20 amp, but your ESC is only 12 amp. That would definitely cause a problem.
I'm sure the motor can easily pull more than 12 amps. I'm sure it could easily pull 20. I think the problem is it's designed for Flight Test Mini, like it's designed for your tiny trainer, or it's spec'd out for your tiny trainer. and I'm using it on a glider that weighs twice as much and is 3 times as large.
Well, there's definitely that, and I mean, but what's your propeller pitch? Because how much it's cutting into the wind, like that's how much it's going to have to pull when you throttle it all the way up. So something you could do is make it so when you hit throttle all the way up, that's only 90%. So you never do 100%.
Yeah.
So you don't ever pull that full.
Well, and I never
amperage.
I never put it higher than 3/4 throttle, I think, because it flew really, really nicely at half throttle. And this is on a 3S battery, so I could probably, well, no, if I were to kick it down to a 2S, it would still pull too many amps.
Yeah, it's the motor. It's what the motor can pull.
Yeah.
That's going to cause your drain like that you'll see a power fluctuation. So if your ESC can only handle so much current and your motor is trying to pull more than that, your battery's going to handle it most of the time. But your ESC is where your failure is going to be. Is where you're going to see most damage done also. Now you can damage your battery on if you did full throttle for long periods of time. Obviously that could damage your battery also, but you're less likely to damage your battery, and you're more likely to damage the ESC. So
part of one thing I think I should try is, right now it's running a 6x3 prop, and I feel like I should
steep
6-inch diameter with a 3-inch pitch.
Oh, okay.
So it's just it's big and shallow.
Yeah.
I wonder if I dropped it down to like a 5.3. That way it doesn't take so much torque to spin a larger prop, if that would help.
And that, like at the diameter, that 1 inch is a huge reduction.
Oh yeah.
And so maybe that will be enough to reduce that draw, at least on your initial punch, right?
Yeah.
Because that's when you felt it, right? Is when you would like kick it hard, or when would you feel it?
Like I'd power up and I'd get up into the air, and then I'd shut it down and let it coast for a bit, and then when I'd go to like get back my throttle to actually climb again, that's where it would be unresponsive. So I'd like throttle up, it wouldn't take it, so I'd back off and throttle again, and it would usually take 1 or 2 tries of throttling up for it to actually kick in.
And that's because you have 2 things going against you at that point. Because you have the flaps are back, right? Because does your propeller fold back?
Nope.
Oh, yours doesn't.
It's not a folding prop.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I think I'm just overloading the ESC and it's overheating or something, so it takes a bit to reset.
Try reducing the propellers.
Yeah, I'll see what happens.
Because what is the math on that? 1 inch from 5 inches to 6 inches, the diameter on that is going to be roughly almost a third smaller size. So that's huge.
Yeah. So that's something I want to try, and then I also want to try what was it?
Someone out there is checking my math on that, and I'm probably wrong, but I know it's going to be close.
It's 1/6. Not 1/3.
1/3. I got halfway there.
Halfway too far.
Well, no, because it's square. It's not 1/6 smaller. The diameter will not be 1/6 smaller, because the diameter has pi r squared as figuring out what the diameter is, and so no, it will not be 1/6 smaller. It's closer to 1/3 smaller. Someone can do the math on that.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah.
It's closer to 1/3 smaller. But anyway.
Okay, moving on.
With how you figure out what the diameter is.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my only outings. I haven't been working on any of my build projects. Most of my RC time has been taken up by my printer, like my plotter printer, my paper printer.
Right.
Because we haven't
talked about that, have we?
Well, we have. It's been
a
mentioned
little bit last time. Yeah.
But so for those of you who don't remember or haven't heard or who aren't on RC groups and have seen me spamming it, I have a plans printing service with my large format printer here. I can print on 18, 24, and 36-inch rolls. And I have had several people reach out to me in the past couple weeks asking for plans to be printed. I actually have one guy right now, or I just shipped 3 sets of plans yesterday. And today I got an order for 3 more sets of plans. So yeah, it's awesome seeing the planes that people want to build, like scratch build, and hearing about what they're doing. And I actually wanted to share a bit of that with you guys. So I'm pulling up on the screen here.
I'm going to say right now, somewhere in one of the in the descriptions is going to be a link to his site. So look for that.
Yeah. Here, Steven, I'll share it with you too.
Sweet.
Okay.
Oh,
look, it can just keep all 3 of us. Well, actually, no, I need to do this. Okay,
yeah.
You can see, right?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, so this was one of the first planes. This is the AT-6 Texan. What's the wingspan on this? 44-inch wingspan, I think it was.
So from tip to tip is 44?
Yeah, from left to right, 44 inches. The guy wanted me to scale this up to... Oh gosh, what was it? I think it was a 60-inch wingspan he wanted it. I don't remember exactly what the end scale was, but it ended up being a 75-inch piece of paper.
Whoa.
I had to tile it. It took 2 pieces of paper at 76 inches long and then 2 sheets of 36-inch paper.
That's cool, though.
It's going to be absolutely massive when he finishes it. But it's going to be amazing. I'm really excited for that build. One of the other ones, let's see here. Ooh, another one of the first ones I got was this one. This is the Carl Goldberg Is it Goldberg? Yes, it is. Carl Goldberg shoestring. A lot of our listeners probably recognize the name Carl Goldberg. Back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, he was a huge designer of RC airplanes. He designed the Piper Cub kit that I have, as well as the Spirit that I have. I think he designed the Spirit. That's the glider. But yeah, so this is a racer type plane, and this one was they had me print out at full scale, so no changes there. But it's a 54-inch wingspan. Rough weight of about 4.5 to 5 pounds, all said and done. But that is with old school methods and old school equipment. So modern, it could probably be 4 pounds or less. Then I had a guy ask for this DCH2 Beaver with a 26-inch wingspan. He wanted this scaled up to 200%. So 52-inch wingspan, roughly. But that one will be super slick when it's done. This one is one of my favorites here. This is called the Bomber, the 1938 Bomber. So old school model. But I love this look with the wing propped up high on top of this little stack.
Yeah.
And then the big fat tail and the nice streamlined body. Just, it looks good, and it's got a huge dihedral on the wing. Just the wing, the center section is flat, but the wing tips are popped up. Hang on, let's zoom in and take a look at how much that pops up. The wing tips are 12 inches above the bottom surface of the wing.
Whoa.
But remember, this is a 96-inch wingspan.
Oh,
this plane, like, this is one that I'm actually printing out. I think this is one that I have on order right now. No, I don't remember. I'll have to look at my stuff. But this plane, I'm excited for that build. Like, that dude's going to have so much fun with this. So,
yeah.
There's that. And then the last one, this one I know is a current order. This is the Lanzo, the 1936 Lanzo Racer. Similar in style to the last one, just instead the wing is flat on the top of the fuselage. Wingspan is 51 inches. He's actually having me scale it up a bit for him. But and that one, the wing tips sit at a 30-degree angle, so 7 inches above the bottom surface of the wing. Absolutely massive. But that thing is going to be so stable to fly in the air. For anyone interested, all of these plans can be found on. Hang on. All of these plans can be found on outerzone.co.uk. That is a website where they host all sorts of plans from all over the place. Any people are able to go in and upload PDF versions of all these plans, as well as an article and stuff, or whatever information they have on a build or an airplane kit that is no longer in production. And anyone can go there, download it for free, and build the plane on their own.
That's cool.
And then my goal with the printing stuff is that it's a pain in the rear to try and print and tile a big plan onto 8.5 by 11 pages. Yeah. So if I can make that easier by printing it out on one or maybe two 36 by 48 or 36 by 72 pieces of paper to make your build go easier, then I want to do that.
Yeah, and that is awesome.
Yeah. I feel that I've heard that the rates that I'm charging are quite reasonable, if not really cheap. And then shipping is $5 because media mail, yay. my current order, the guy's like, dude, how did you get shipping so cheap? Did you have to hold a gun to someone's head? I'm like, nope, it's media mail. So yeah, if any of one of our listeners are interested, you have plans that you want printed out, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. You can, I'll put my information in the description of the video and the audio podcast so that you guys can reach out to me with anything. And I'm going to make note on a piece of paper right now of the stuff that I'm saying. I will link in the description, because every time when we go back to edit these episodes, I realize I have no idea what I said we would link.
Well, don't you listen to the episode while you're editing it?
This generally, yes. This last one, no.
That was,
this last one I just tacked on the beginning. Yeah, just slapped on this front end and then ran with it. So yeah.
You mean you're going to take notes for this so you can remember to do what you say you're going to do during the show? What? That's just weird.
Yeah, I haven't done that for a previous podcast for 4 years.
Not all.
So yeah, that is the extent of what I have been up to mostly. There is one other thing I've started being up to that I guess I'll share with you guys. But for a year or so now, I've wanted to get a laser cutter so that I can cut out all of these cool planes like the ones I just showed you and build them myself. But it was it was last week. My wife and I were chatting, and she said that she is willing to let me go through with buying or building my own laser cutter so that I can build planes for myself and for us and all that, but also so I can produce planes like short kits for anybody else out there.
That's awesome.
So for Steven and for anyone else that doesn't know, a short kit is a laser cut balsa kit that is just the parts of the kit that need to be cut out of sheet wood. So not like your little sticks that you use to brace between the ribs of the wing or down the length of the fuselage, but actually the cut shapes. That is the short kit. The builder has to supply their own sticks and their own sheeting. So I'm in the beginning stages of looking at building my own CO2 laser, and with that I hope to eventually produce short kits and then beyond that, the hope is that I will be able to then produce my own planes of my own design.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. It will most likely be at least a year before I am either able to start the build of the laser or have it finished. So it's not anything soon, but it is something that I am actively working towards.
Very cool.
So I'll be keeping you guys posted on any updates to that project, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. I think it'll be very awesome, and the potential of being able to, like, I'd be happy to build some once I get better at building and go test fly some of your own builds later when you get to that point. That'd be fun.
Well, and I do plan on, because like I've got one design for a foam board plane that I've come up with that I need to cut out and fly and try out and see if it actually works. And if it does, then I can then start. I also want to be producing my own foam board kits as well.
And that would be cool.
So yeah, that's where that's going.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited to be able to, help out and be part of it too, because that'll be so much fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, that'll be very cool. Yeah. So, like, watch for those updates and stuff as he remembers.
Yeah, don't worry. My wife and I, we've already talked about it. I'm going to be spamming my current social medias with it, and then there's a serious possibility of starting new social medias dedicated to my design freelancing stuff, Mountain Goat Design, as well as that will also include all stuff regarding the build and the creation and the working with the laser cutter.
That'd be cool. Now make sure you document all of that.
Oh yeah.
Because that will be also pretty awesome. And like, this is all, like, for those of you who are like, well, it's not RC stuff. Well, it kind of is. I mean, it's like the 3D printers, like the ability to be able to make parts for your RC stuff is really awesome. Well, this laser cutter, he'll be able to get this cut out all of his parts, and then we just glue them together, or however you assemble them together.
Oh, yeah.
Hot glue, mostly.
Glue. But foam board, hot glue, balsa wood, CA glue, and epoxy. But like, I'm constantly looking on Outer Zone at all the different plans that people have uploaded, and there are so many planes I'd love to build, but realistically, I won't unless I have a fast and reliable way to cut out parts.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that is a CO2 laser. And the only way I feel like I want to, because like I could buy one that would be big enough for what I want, because I'll tell you a little bit more about it. So the workable area, like how big of material I can cut, I want to be at least 20 inches by 30 inches, because that is the size of a sheet of foam board. So chances are I'll make it 24 by 36, because 36 is also a standard length for balsa wood to come in. So if I do that, where was I going with this?
Then you'll be able to cut the foam board and cut the balsa on the one platform.
Yeah,
because you were going to say the ones that you were looking to buy.
Yeah, so
can't do that.
Well, looking to buy one, they can do that, but they don't have the exact size I want. And to get one that's close to that size, I'm looking at like $4,000.
You can probably build one for $400 or less even.
No, the CO2 laser tube alone is like $300.
Oh, okay. But the rest, I mean, honestly, that's going to be your most expensive component, because everything, the controller, I don't.
If I did like if I build into an Arduino or a Raspberry Pi, it would probably be like $50, Or I
Well,
can spend.
An Arduino will be about 50. Raspberry Pi will be about 150 because Raspberry Pis right now are stupid expensive.
Yeah, so at that point, I'd rather go with like a dedicated pre-built CNC controller that is like $350, which is probably what I'll do. Because then it's not
So,
something I have to tinker with. It's just set up and ready to go.
how
No
much can
issues.
you with something like that? How much can you modify the length and the width? Like, would they just be parameters on that,
Yeah.
or are they going to be hard coded? Because
No,
that's one thing you want to make sure that that doesn't play a part, right?
yeah, no, absolutely. And that thankfully that is something that is, it's just parameters you plug into the machine and tell it, here is your workable area. And so long as you put in limit switches and program
Yeah,
and tell it where they are, then it
yeah,
knows. It's like a 3D printer. You just tell it this is how big the bed is.
yeah. And like that's one I think one big thing that why the enders are so popular because honestly to modify them to other sizes is super
Oh
easy.
yeah.
You just have to build out a bigger bed and build out the bigger control arms and then put in the parameters inside of
Inside the
your
controller.
slicer or in the controller. You can download them directly into the controller so it has it, and then you
Yeah.
would do it in the slicer as a custom build also, and then you're set. I know a lot of people that have actually taken enders and torn them apart and made larger beds. Um, in
Yeah.
fact, there's a
And
belt
that's.
company that
Oh.
Derek and I like. Um,
Oh.
that
Did they
they
really?
have done. Yep, they've done the same thing. Have you not seen it? You've done the tour.
I know I have, but I don't remember seeing their printer.
Yeah, it's like 18 by 36.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, but
Anyway,
yeah. So with the laser cutter, it's very easy. The controller is, it's very easy to program and set up to whatever custom setup you've designed. Um, so my plan is I can build it for somewhere between 2 and 3,000. I haven't fully spec'd it out, but the build that I plan on following, that's the range that it estimates.
okay.
The build is all that,
Still,
those prices are also a few years old, so it could be wildly different now, given
well,
inflation.
some things are going to be more expensive. Other things are going to be cheaper
Yeah,
because, so that's still probably a relatively good build estimate. I don't know. I think you could probably build it for cheaper if you source the stuff yourself
yeah. Well,
outside of
and
following what's there. But it all depends on the components because, like, some of the things you're going to want nicer components, other things you could probably cheap on a little bit, right?
yeah,
Um,
and
you
that I
know,
fully plan on doing that, of evaluating what I want to keep as per the build I want to follow, and what I plan to change, and for whatever reason. But I'm gonna
yeah,
really take my time with it to make sure that I do it well, because I
yeah.
don't want this to be like, CNC machines are finicky to begin with. Strap a laser tube on it and fire that thing, and it becomes a lot more finicky. So I'm going to be very careful and take my time with it to make sure that it gets done right.
Yeah, and especially as you enlarge it, like that's one thing you'll see that, the smaller ones that will do a 10 by 10 or whatever, right? Those prices are relatively cheap.
Oh yeah,
As soon as you enlarge that a little bit, because the complexity for the size to keep it so everything moves like it's supposed to, and you keep the the flowing of it, the Z and X axis is not Z, the
X and
X and
Y.
Y axis is, it increases a lot, and you can get drag and delay in movement, which can ruin your builds, your
Yeah,
cuts. So that's definitely something you want to pay attention to when you're building that out, which is awesome that you're going to do it. I'm excited. I'm excited to watch you do it and be part of it. Not that I'm going to really do anything, but I'm going to watch you.
yeah. The other fun part will be
Maybe.
figuring out where it goes,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
there's not room in my house. My wife and I talked about how when we get a shed, that'll be a really good place for it to live, and we can get a permit to run power to the shed, and all that sort of stuff. But until we get a shed, that's also where it's going to live is a question. So,
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
I mean, you don't have to have a permit to have temporary power. So you can run it, temporary power, and then turn it off. But you wouldn't necessarily be running it overnight and stuff like that.
No.
Anyway,
I wouldn't leave it while it's running.
Yeah.
Because laser and fires and burning thing and gases.
Yeah. Not what you want.
So yeah. That has been the extent of my RC related stuff this past few weeks.
I mean, I think it's been cool. I think like he told me about this 2 weeks ago. So you told me.
I told you about it on Sunday.
So
if
was it really only 3 days ago?
Yes, because my wife and I went out on a date on Friday.
No, you told me on Saturday. You told me on Saturday.
Oh, that's right. Board games.
Yes. So, but still, I think it's awesome. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see the build, and I'm excited to help out. And when I say help out, be there and watch you do what you do with it. That's what I mean by help out. I mean, yeah, I can help out too, but it's mostly like just be involved in talking to you about it and see where you're at and how it's going and encourage you to keep going.
We just got to get you flying and stuff so that when I do have these planes that need to be test built and flown before I sell them. Yeah.
There's the wing right there that we built, and that is the fuselage right there.
Yeah, we need to get that finished so that we can get you flying
and
get you practiced. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you build something crazy, I can be like, yeah, this is crazy, but I like flying it. Or, yeah, don't do this one again. That one was amazing. Do more of those.
Yeah. So real quick for our listeners, if any of you have experience with CNC lasers, either building or using them or what have you, if you have any tips, tricks, whatever that you want to send my way, I would greatly appreciate it. You can send us an email. I'll leave our email in the description. But it's rclawnchairpilotspodcast@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. Yeah, I'm in the learning and gathering information stage, so I will take anything I can get.
That's so awesome. All right. Anything else?
Well, my computer thinks I want to share my start menu.
Awesome. I think you should.
Hang on. I'm writing down email.
More notes to remember to do. Because
I will forget if I don't.
Yeah. That's just fine. It's fine. I forget things all the time.
Okay, so I had fun last time with our talking about the epic crash and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to do that again.
Okay. We have only a few minutes left, so.
We've only been going for 38 minutes. We're fine.
Oh. Did we really start that late? Anyway.
Yeah. No, we really did. Let me share my screen with you.
Let's watch this.
Go. Okay.
Oh,
so
that looks bad.
It was bad. Apparently this is called the crash heard round the world. So on RC Groups, again, one of their article discussion thingies that they put up weekly. This is What the Heck Wednesday. This is a crash that happened. We're going to actually open it up in YouTube. But this is a scale A400M, so a Airbus military style. But apparently this crash is really loud. I haven't actually watched this with sound, so let's see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, it's loud just flying.
Oh, wow.
Whoa!
Yeah, that was loud.
It blinked, and then he was nose down. What happened?
Yeah, that is the question. Why? Stop. Computer, stop showing me notifications. Okay, so let's watch the slow-mo real quick.
Yeah.
So it starts to flutter, and then it just goes over hard.
And it
Like
just...
there's no recovering at that point. All right, so that was the actual crash. Let's see how well this thing flies initially. It's a good looking plane. Like, that's a good looking model.
I like the way it looks, but it looks heavy.
That is a steep takeoff. Holy cow.
Yeah.
So I know that when it comes to propellers and a camera, there's a rolling shutter effect, which makes things not appear as they really are.
Yeah.
Or makes propellers look like they're spinning slower or backwards. But I wonder if...
They should be in sync with each other.
They should be, but they look like they're not, right?
Yeah, that's what I was noticing also. Now, the camera will affect that, but they should still be in sync.
I feel like they should be closer. So part of me wonders, like right there they look okay.
Yeah.
Right there the motors look like they're okay.
I'm wondering if one or two of them couldn't handle the strain.
Maybe.
And if they died, because it looks like he's attempting to do a turn like that. So yeah, see, like we get some weird. I get it. The frame rate is going to change that, the way they look. But
well, and if he's got like differential thrust set up on his transmitter, there it goes.
This is where he's gonna, right there, boom. Gosh.
So if he has differential thrust set up on his transmitter, where moving the rudder stick spins one half of the propellers more than the other, then that could be what we're seeing there.
Okay.
But like as it comes up here, you see he's banking, he's going left, and then he starts to turn right, and then it wobbles. It's like it stalls out there. The tip of the wing stalls out. Yeah. And I wonder if it's differential thrust or if it's the motors not being tuned to each other properly, if that's one of the reasons that it failed like that. It doesn't look like there's a lot of wind, so I don't think that's playing much of an effect, because it wobbles.
Yeah.
And then it just falls. That has an echo. My word.
Yeah.
I don't know what language that is.
It sounds like German.
That is such a big plane.
That is a... Yeah. That is a big plane, but oh man.
Don't worry, guys. The ailerons still work. Oh man.
Oh, man, that is so sad.
That is a rough walk of shame. Ooh, that's a Free Sky radio. All right, so like I chimed in on the discussion online. Oop, hang on. With everybody trying to figure out what's going on, and I proposed that it looked like propellers out of sync or motors out of sync. A lot of people agrees with, or brought up that it stalled, so it just didn't have the airspeed that it needed for the maneuver as he was trying to turn, and it just fell out of the air.
I mean, I'm wondering if that, because as heavy as it is, you have to maintain, like something like that, it has to maintain a certain amount of airspeed to be able to turn and maneuver and do anything.
Yeah.
And if you don't maintain that, it's just going to fall out of the sky like a big giant rock.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what it did.
Yep. Well, and a stall was definitely involved. There's no way it wobbled like that and then fell out of the sky without stalling.
No.
Because he lost control real quick.
Yeah.
But I personally think motors played into it. For our viewers that have seen it or just watched it with us, post in the comments below what do you think caused that crash. I will post a link to that video as well.
And there's the note for the that's a.
So yeah, let's hear your thoughts. I'm curious what you guys have to say. And I'm not going to share it with you, Stephen, but I'll share it with everybody else here. Someone posted this meme in the discussion. It's this woman sitting in first class talking to flight stewardess, and she says, "How often do planes crash?" And the stewardess says, "Just once." Stephen's laughing. You can't hear him.
What'd you do? Mute me?
No, I think your condenser cut you out.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's funny. Yeah, that was a funny joke. Just once.
So yeah, just once.
I know. My Radeon I crashed a bunch of times.
Yeah, well, that's different than a commercial plane.
That's true.
Thank goodness.
They very rarely take that back out.
Yeah, we got to fix that one too, because that'd be a fun one to fly.
Yeah, that one. That one shouldn't take too much to fix it. Probably just some hot glue. I haven't pulled it out for a long time, and the slow stick.
Yeah.
That one. I mean, everything's there, and I have new propellers, and I have enough to have 2 of those, enough parts to actually build out 2 with 2 different wing styles, and then I have 3 sets of wings. So
yeah, it'll be fun. All right, anything else you want to share with the people?
that is all I have today, I think.
All right.
Yeah. How about you?
That's it for me. We'll come prepared with more stuff for you guys next time.
Yeah, one of us might even have worked on something. Probably him.
I will, because I know I thought it. I don't know if I said it, but on my last flight with that 2-meter glider that I strapped the APAC motor on, the screws wobbled loose and the motor fell off.
That's not good. Was that during flight?
Oh yeah, no, it was in the air. It landed with the motor dangling.
But you landed it.
Oh yeah, no, I landed that plane. Yeah, I landed that plane so many times. But I ran over to Ace Hardware and I picked up more screws, so I just need to put the motor back on.
Yeah, and maybe invest in some like blue Loctite. So
well, I think it'll help if I put in more than 2.
And that maybe also.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the motor wiggles or can wiggle. And
just a little. Just a little.
There's a little bit of vibration there, and that's why they say a little bit of Loctite, not black or anything, just
just the blue stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, you want to take us out of here, Stephen?
I would, but I don't remember how to say it, so.
All right, I'll do it.
I'll let you do it.
All right, guys, remember, when flying inverted, up is down and down is expensive. Torque is how hard you hit the ground, and RPM is how hard you hit the ground, and torque is how far you have to dig to get yourself out.
Yep. All right, guys.
See you guys.
See ya.